Did you recently have a meeting with, let's say, your boss or somebody in HR or an ombudsman or a therapist or counselor or even an attorney, and they recommended that you try mediation to resolve or manage a conflict, dispute, or other problem with either a client or a coworker or whatever? And now you're just wondering, what in the world is mediation? Well, I'm going to let you know in this video today. I'm Dave Hilton. I am the owner of Resolution Stream and ResolutionStream.com, and I help small business owners, entrepreneurs, and other ambitious professionals learn the essential negotiation, conflict resolution, communication, and leadership skills necessary to build successful careers and develop high-performance teams. Now, what I'm going to ask you to do before we get started with the video is to subscribe to our channel on YouTube. Make sure when you hit the subscribe button that you click the little bell. That way, whenever we do these live videos, you'll be notified that we've gone live. Also, on Facebook, make sure you like our page and then make sure you change your follow settings so that you see our posts first. So again, when we go live, and also on LinkedIn, follow the Resolution Stream page. I'd appreciate that. Well, it was about, I guess, 6 years ago. I think that's what it says on there. Yeah, about 6 years ago, I created a whiteboard video, animated whiteboard video about answering the question, what is mediation? Because a lot of people want to know what this is. They're not familiar with the term. And it's got quite a few views, but I thought, you know what, that was 6 years ago, and a lot of things have changed. And so I thought it was about time that we do an updated version. So this is a new video. What is mediation? The 2020 update. Are you ready for it? All right, so here we go. First off, last video I did, we talked about conflict resolution. And the reason why I'm talking about this is because the content in here will tell you where mediation falls in what's known as the conflict continuum. But nearly all conflict is caused by somebody's expectations not being met. And you'll see me use this quote in numerous videos that I do from Dr. John Gottman, because that's it. Nearly all conflict, someone's expectations had not been met. And there are 5 common forms of conflict communication that I covered in the last video I did: facilitation and coaching, negotiation or assisted negotiation, mediation, which we're talking about today, neutral evaluation, and arbitration. Now, I'll cover all of those conflict communication forms in future videos, but today I'm going to focus on mediation. As I was mentioned a minute ago, conflict continuum. The last video I did, I was talking about on the left side of the conflict continuum, you remain in control of the outcome. Whereas the further up you move, the further a dispute or a conflict escalates up this, you lose control the further you go. So we're going to talk about mediation right here on the conflict continuum. But again, I'll talk about some of these other ones in future videos. So let's get down to it. Mediation is an informal discussion where an impartial person known as a mediator uses a structured process to help you reach an agreement with somebody else. Now, mediation is a form of conflict communication, which I talked about just a second ago. Mediation is a form of alternative dispute resolution, and also sometimes will be referred to as ODR as well, online dispute resolution, which has become huge since the pandemic has started. Mediation is confidential. Now, there are some exceptions to that, but most of the time when you go through the mediation process, it's confidential, and what you say in those rooms stay confidential. Another thing, mediation is usually voluntary, and it gives you control of the outcome. Now, I say usually voluntary because sometimes mediation can be court-ordered. Mediation is typically faster and costs less compared to other forms of conflict communication or the options that you see on the conflict continuum compared to arbitration, litigation, and some of those other options. Now, mediation also is balanced and fair to everyone involved, and that is the point. It's confidential, it's voluntary, it's usually faster, and it's balanced and fair. There are some of the huge benefits of going through the mediation process if you happen to have a conflict or dispute that you need mediated. Now, so far, I've given you basically the simple definition. It's about 4.5 minutes into the video here. And so my question is, do you want me to keep going? There's more. I can delve down a little bit deeper if you'd like to. So if you'd like me to keep talking about this, just type mediation in the comments. I'll give you a second. All right, let's keep going. All right, mediation is not meditation. Now, people make this mistake all the time. They confuse mediation with meditation. Even whenever you search on Google, sometimes meditation options will come up when you're searching mediation and vice versa. A lot of people make that mistake. But even though a successful mediation can help you achieve a certain kind of mental and physical peace, they're not the same thing. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if you or somebody else accidentally typed meditation in the comments instead of mediation when I asked you to just a second ago, because the spellings are so similar. But that's okay. It happens all the time, and you can always go back and fix your comment if you need to. Another misconception about mediation is who makes the decisions. In court, a judge decides who wins and who loses, but a mediator is not a judge. Mediators are not judges. They don't make the decisions. You and the other people involved in the mediation, and you're usually called the parties during a mediation, make all of the decisions. Also, mediators don't take sides. They're there to just basically help you get through the mediation process. They're there to guide you through that. And so you can sort of think about it this way. Mediators are like a human GPS. But instead of helping you navigate confusing roads, avoid construction delays, and bypass accidents to find the best route to your final destination, like an app on your smartphone would, a mediator uses their special skills, training, and knowledge to help you navigate through a conflict, assist you through during difficult conversations, and also bypass misunderstandings to find multiple routes to the mediation's final destination, which hopefully is an agreement or an understanding that resolves or manages the original conflict. And if you decide that you don't like the way the conversation is going during a mediation, you can stop and choose to take the discussion in a different direction or focus on issues that you don't feel have been addressed yet. And just like a GPS on your phone or car will automatically update to help you find an alternate route, a good mediator automatically adapts during the mediation to help you identify alternative ways to reach a possible agreement. Now, another question you might have is, how long does a mediation take? I get that question all the time. Well, the answer is it depends. And you'll hear me answer that way. And I'm not trying to brush you off on your question, but it really depends on the type of conflict and other issues involved in the mediation. Because some mediation sessions, they only last a few hours before a settlement is reached. Others can last several days or even weeks. And there are some cases that no matter how hard you try, you don't end up with any kind of suitable agreement. That happens. Now, mediation is totally worth it. It can be uncomfortable. It isn't necessarily easy all the time, but it is worth the effort. Most studies report that the settlement rate for workplace and commercial mediation is typically between 70 and 90%. Now, for example, the EEOC in 2019 reported they resolved 71% of their cases using mediation. Another organization that reports their findings, FINRA, the Financial Industry Regulatory Authority, reported 89% of their cases were settled using mediation in 2019. I'd say that's a pretty effective option, don't you? Other mediation questions you might have, like how much does mediation cost? Where can I find a mediator? Where is a mediation held? Who attends the mediation? Those types of things. I will cover those questions in future live streams, but I will cover them at some point. I promise. So there you go. What is mediation? The 2020 update. You made it through the video, and that means you now know what mediation is. Now, if you enjoyed this mediation video, again, I ask you to subscribe to the Resolution Stream YouTube channel, like the Resolution Stream page on Facebook, follow Resolution Stream on LinkedIn as well, and be sure to let me know in the comments what other negotiation and conflict resolution skills you'd like me to talk about in future videos, other than the ones that I promised to cover already. And if you happen to need help preparing for a mediation, if you need to hire a workplace or commercial mediator, I invite you to schedule a free 30-minute strategy call with me right there on the website at resolutionstream.com. Nice and simple. Well, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week for another live Resolution Stream.